Hello! Welcome back to MysHistory. Happy New Year. I'm Rhonda, and this is where I talk about historical mysteries and whether or not fairy tales are true. If that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please consider subscribing. I hope your holidays were really, really good. I can't believe it's already 2022. Hey, here's hoping it's better. My husband too. Yeah. Oh man. So today I decided, let's do another fact or fairy tale. And this one claims to be a true story, but I'm kind of skeptical, and we'll get to that and why. But fact or fairy tale? Cinderella. We are all familiar with, the Disney fairy tale of Cinderella. Admittedly, never saw the movie. I think I read the book when I was a kid, but I've never seen the movie. You seen the movie? Cinderella?
Which one?
Disney.
Disney? I saw the
The
Disney
original
cartoon.
animated one. I've never seen it.
I mean, it's been a while, but I think we had it on VHS or something.
I don't remember ever seeing it. I really, honestly, if I saw it, I have erased it from my memory. The movie itself, seeing it, I don't know. But I know the story. We all know the story. Happy family, wife dies, dad remarries, evil stepwoman, she moves into the house with her two horrible, evil, ugly stepchildren. And, well, they're her children, but they're the evil, ugly stepsisters. And they just kind of treat Cinderella like she's a chambermaid. They're horrible to her. She makes friends with little mice in the house. And it's always been unclear, at least to me, where was her father? She's being mistreated this whole time. Where's dad? He married this woman, and then he's like, oh, okay, so, we're married, welcome to the house, hope y'all get along, I'm out, peace. What the heck happened there? That's poor parenting. And it seems to work out very poorly for Cinderella. So, yeah. Anyway, father issues aside, there's supposed to be a ball for the prince to find a new bride. And every girl in the kingdom is invited. And I just find that really weird for the time period, because medieval times, and they were typically preserving bloodlines and not marrying people from in the kingdom, but somebody that was related. In medieval times, you didn't look far for a spouse, you looked down the hall. So anyway, this ball, and it's supposed to be a big deal because he's going to find his bride. And the stepsisters are all excited, and Cinderella's all excited, and the stepmother's pretty excited too, because, I'm pretty sure she was a gold-digging little... I can't say that on YouTube. Anyway, they told Cinderella, yeah, you can go, but you have to finish this list of things that we have for you to do, which, on top of all of the other stuff that you're supposed to do, and we're going to add all of this other, oh, and you have to make your own gown. We're going to sit here and eat bonbons and chocolate. I have no idea what they were doing, except being horrible human beings. Anyway, so Cinderella, like I said, she's friends with the little mice in the house. And they wore little outfits. I've never known a mice to wear clothing. Maybe Stuart Little. Anyway. The mice help Cinderella complete, all of her chores. And they find little things and stuff for her to make this gown. And so she gets her chores done, and she puts on her gown, and she comes down the stairs. She's like, oh, wait for me, I'm coming. And the stepsisters, everybody turns, they see her in this gown. And now, all of a sudden, the stepsisters, they just flip out. That that's my sash. That's my button. And they go over and they're just ripping all of this stuff off of this dress that she made. And you're like, and now you can't go. And so the three of them leave, and I'm presuming that they're laughing. You know, that's just me. You know, it's like, we're horrible people. Now you can't go. I don't know. So Cinderella is now in the garden, left home all alone again. That she's crying, and I don't know. Poof! Fairy godmother. Oh, why you cry? Oh. And they're singing, because there's always singing in Disney movies. And then she, you know, bibbity bobbity boos, and now there's a chariot out of a pumpkin, and a couple of horses out of a couple of dogs, and two of her little mice friends become the driver of the chariot and a footman, and now, poof, gorgeous gown. Oh, would be home by midnight. So, they take off, she goes to the ball. She goes into the palace. And I don't know. This is me imagining. You ready? They're ready? The prince sees her from across the room. She's the most beautiful woman in the kingdom. I must dance with her. So, that's what he did. He danced with her the whole night. And then all of a sudden she realizes, oh, it's almost midnight. I have to go. Boom, she leaves. She flees down. She's running down the stairs. She loses one of her slippers. She doesn't have time to go back and get it. She's got to get out of there. She hops in the chariot. They take off. Go, gone. Well, she doesn't make it home before the stroke of midnight. And now she's standing on the side of the road with a pumpkin, two dogs, and a couple of mice. And had to hoof it home. Oh, in the rags that she was already in. So the prince, who's desperate to find the love of his life, he sends his servants out to every home in the kingdom to find the one woman who fits the slipper. Because apparently they didn't exchange names back then. So they eventually end up at the home of Cinderella. Well, they stash Cinderella away. Well, the two stepsisters, they can't fit their big old clown feet in the shoes. So, is there anybody else here? And somehow they get a little musing, and there is somebody else. And well, they bring her forth. Oh, the slipper fit. Has she had the other slipper? Which, now I have to sit here and go, wait a minute. The pumpkin is a pumpkin again, and not a chariot. And the horses are dogs. And the driver and the footman are the mice again, and she's back in the rags that she was in before. So how did the slippers survive? How did the glass slipper survive? I don't know. I don't know. And you know, the other thing is, did nobody else in the kingdom wear the same size slipper? Like, I shut up, Rhonda. It's a fairy tale. Suspend reality. Regardless of the survival of the slippers, Cinderella married the prince, and they lived happily ever after, as in every other Disney fairy tale ever told. And then people wonder why we have such weird expectations of romance. Admittedly, Disney was not the first company, animators, whatever, to write the story of Cinderella. Shocking. It's assumed, probably a fact, that they took parts of the story from the brothers Grimm, which is a little bit different and a whole lot darker. There was no fairy godmother in that version. She did not befriend mice. In fact, her father was heading out on one of his trips, and all she wanted was a branch from whatever tree he brushed against on his way back home. So he had this little twig, he gives it to her, she plants it by her mother's grave, she weeps over it daily, a big tree grows, and birds flock to the tree. So she befriends these birds, and it was this tree that produced her gowns plural, more than one, because in their version, the ball was 3 knights and not just one. It was not glass slippers, they were these little golden slippers. So, same thing. She flees the final night of the ball. The prince finds the golden slipper. Eventually, they end up over at Cinderella's house because, again, nobody in the kingdom wears the same size shoe. So, they get there. They got Cinderella tucked away. The one stepsister goes to try on the shoe and not doing it in front of the servants. In a private room, whatever, and the shoe doesn't fit. She can't get her big old clown foot in the shoe. So her mom says, cut off your toes. Weird. But she did it. What a sadistic mom. And so the shoe fits. And the guys are like, excellent. So they go to leave, and the birds are like, dude, there's blood in that slipper. Oh, look at that, there's blood in the slipper. So they go back in. Got another daughter? Yeah. So other stepsister is going to go in and try to fit her big old clown foot in this shoe. Well, it doesn't fit. So this time the mom says, well, cut off your heel.
Ow.
Again, bad idea. But she did it. Like, no. And the shoe fits. And where were these men while all of this was going on? Like, seriously, this is some serious shady, stuff going on. And these shysters, gold diggers, I'm guessing. Because I'm thinking Cinderella. I said it in the Disney one too, and it rings true for the Brothers Grimm version. Pretty sure they were, little gold diggers. And, who wouldn't want to marry a prince? I don't think I'd want the responsibility of being a princess, but that's just me. Anyway, so shoe fits, and they're like, okay, cool. They go to leave, and again, the birds are like, hello? There's still blood in there. Oh, like they didn't notice? So, they're like, so, by the way, a little birdie told us, quite literally, there's another girl here. So now they gotta go get Cinderella. Cinderella. And the shoe fit. I would not want to put my shoe in... my shoe. I wouldn't want to put my foot into a shoe that was likely coated in blood at this point. Ew. So, the shoe fits. So they didn't acquit. Anyway.
Dark.
The two stepsisters now are going to go and endear themselves to Cinderella because she's going to marry a prince.
Okay, wait a minute. Now, these are golden slippers.
Yes.
Or even a glass slipper. How the heck do you walk around with something like that?
The way I understood it from the Grimm one is they're just the color gold. They're not like gold.
Okay, but a glass slipper, that flexes how much?
Exactly none.
Stripper heels would be more comfortable. Goodness.
Don't try to make sense.
I'll just sit here and drink my
It's
beer.
a story. So, the stepsisters, they're going to endear themselves now to Cinderella because she's going to go marry a prince. So they're, suck up to her. Which Cinderella probably could teach us all a lesson in forgiveness because she allowed them to be in her wedding. Her bird friends, not quite as forgiving because at some point, they actually plucked the eyeballs out of the sisters. I don't know if it was during the ceremony or after the ceremony, but those birds took out their revenge on the stepsisters. There is no word in this version on whether or not Cinderella and the prince lived happily ever after. there are several stories, fairy tales, fables that are similar to the theme of Cinderella. One that dates back to ancient Egypt, even, in which a slave girl, I'm going to butcher the name, Rhodopus, has one of her sandals carried away by an eagle while she's bathing, and the eagle apparently carried the sandal all the way across the Mediterranean, where it landed in the lap of a king, who then has to find the owner of the sandal because, you know, he loves her. Oh, this is it. This is her.
She's the one.
Find her.
That's the right funk I've been looking for.
There's a 12th century telling of a wealthy noblewoman who gave birth to twins, and she left one of the daughters, Fresney, at the base of an ash tree outside of a convent, because in that era, twins were thought to be a sign of infidelity. And so that particular daughter was raised by nuns along with the brocade that was left with her to be the token of her identity. She would grow up with the nuns, catch the eye of a nobleman, they would fall in love. But it was not meant to be. He was forced to marry another woman of noble birth because medieval times. Fresney would come to accept that she could not marry her beloved, and she waited for him in the wedding chamber, disguised as a handmaiden, but covered the bed with her own brocade. That's a weird word. It turned out her beloved had married her twin sister. And with her true noble identity now being revealed, she got to marry the love of her life, and her sister would marry another nobleman. Great how that worked out.
It's not very dark.
No, it's not very dark at all. It's kind of sweet.
I was like expecting that they killed the twin.
No,
they
that one
chopped
was...
her up and served her to the guests, and they lived happily ever after.
No, it was kind of a sweet one. That one was kind of sweet. There are Asian versions, including the tale of Tam and Cam from Vietnam. There are versions from China, Cambodia, Southeast Asia. It's a very popular tale in which a woman of no means marries royalty. And there are themes, even in movies. The most remarkable one would be Pretty Woman. And now we get to the true story of Cinderella. It is a book by Tom Hendricks entitled Cinderella, The True Story of Cinderella. And it claims to be just that, the true story of Cinderella. So I've read the book, but Cliff Notes version, secret panel in an antique chest is discovered by a housekeeper. So upon gaining access via a metal latch, a stack of letters was discovered. The letters would be taken to the curator, who sold the chest to, I'm assuming, the author of the book, and would discover that the stack was thick parchment paper, about 15 sheets. Each contained a royal seal and the signature Cinderillian. The letters were said to have been written in a Germanic language, and the curator would research these letters with the help of other experts and discover that they were correspondence from Queen Cinderella to her firstborn child, Prince William, who was said to have been the owner of the chest. The letters were said to contain the story of how Cinderella, the daughter of a woodcutter, met and fell in love with Prince Martel, who would be the father of Prince William. Okay, so cool, a true story. One problem. I tried to look up this queen and her betrothed, Martel, only to be confronted with Game of Thrones. You would think that such a discovery would have led to me finding some historical proof of existence of this Queen Cinderellan, but you would be incorrect. A quick Google search for the name Cinderellan just gave me a reference to the book by Mr. Hendricks and an opera. Any search for Prince Martell or even King Martell led me to, you guessed it, Game of Thrones, which I've never watched. A search of Queen Cinderella and King Martell as the parents of Prince William led me to Prince William of England. You know, the daughter of Lady Diana and Prince Charles.
Son.
The son. That too. So, yeah, you'll forgive my skepticism in believing whether or not this story is true. Because something that big, why couldn't I find anything on it? Except for, Game of Thrones. A sketchy book. And the royal family of England.
It's a conspiracy to keep the truth hidden.
You'll forgive me. Poor girl marries rich guy. And I'm pretty sure that doesn't even happen with today's royal family. They're not out marrying commoners. I'm not saying that they're still marrying family members. But they're not going to come out and marry me. I don't know. Prince Harry married somebody who would be a commoner. She's not a duchess. She was like an actress or something.
No, I don't follow any of that mess. Why? Because it's over there and I'm over here. We've got our own messes to worry about.
I tell you, I don't.
Get me started.
If you guys have any information on whether or not Queen Cinderella and King Martell are real people who had a son named Prince William, let me know down in the comments. Because I didn't find it, and Lord knows I tried. I got nothing. What do you think? Fact? Fairy tale? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I'm going with fairy tale. Personally. And I'm cold. So, let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. Think it's possible? I mean, I guess some fairy tales are, well, no, I would think that they were just fanciful stories like, we tell each other anyway.
Yeah. Fancy stories or fables or morality tales.
Oh, yeah, morality tales. Working on some other stuff for this series and also the baking series. And I'll probably maybe end up throwing in some other random stuff on this channel. Spring is going to be here quicker than I know it, which means track season is going to be here quicker than I know it. And if you were with me around this time, around springtime last year, you know that I have to really be careful how many videos I post because I'm out taking photos and videos for 2 different track teams. And then I put it all together for a video. That's my business. That's what I do. If you're interested, I mean, I'm a landscape photographer by trade. This is just something that I do that kind of helps supplement my income. Right now, people are still buying things that are not fine art necessarily. But I will put a link to my website in the description box below in case you're interested in checking it out. So let me know your thoughts and comments on this story. And don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell to be notified every time I post a new video. And until next time, take care.